Mom, you're gonna say this is gross.
What's up, outdoor freaks? All right, so what is this, you ask? So in the last video, I was making jigs, and I want to powder coat the jigs. Now online, I found a few ways to powder coat. Back in the day, I used to powder coat big tanks, and that required, a static charge and a big gun, and I wasn't going to buy all that stuff to, obviously I don't want to buy all that stuff. That's a large operation. But they do make smaller ones, and I didn't want to buy that either. I'm trying to keep this on the cheap, on the down low. I don't want to spend a bunch of money in trying to do this. I just want a cool little hobby to keep me doing things and teach you guys how to do some of the stuff too, show you how I'm doing it. So I looked online and found a way that you could call it a water bed, a fluid bed. Now online, the product was $100 for one system, one tube, and I thought that was ridiculous to be able to use one paint or have to change it out every time for $100. So what I did was I found a way to make it cheaper. So just to let you know, I got about $50 wrapped up in what I have here. And I'm going to go over it with you a little bit. But the $50, I had the wood. I had PVC. I just had to buy the couplings and the caps. And then also a valve and the valve here, which I'll get you a close up on that in a second, and the air pump. I had the hose. The air pump came with, or the valve came with these two directional airflow, and I had coffee filters. So to make this, you're going to need some screws. PVC, I'm using 2-inch couplers. I bought some, these are called test caps. A valve system, 3/16 inch air hose. You can use like aquarium hose, like for the breather. That's all this is a aquarium 20 to 60 gallon air pump, and then aquarium hose. So real quick, let me show you here. All right, so I bought this off Amazon. This was $8. He said the hose I had, this was $13 at Walmart. It's the Aquaculture 20 to 60 gallon aquarium air pump. And then, like I said, I had the 2-inch PVC. So I bought the couplers. I think they were about $1 a piece. And then the test caps for 37 cents a piece. All right. The overall goal is I didn't know how big I was going to need this piece here that goes on the top. This is your cup that holds the powder. And so I've tested this out. I've got this one at 2 3/4 inches. I think 2.5 would be fine. And I've got this one, I think, at like set at 3, but I'm going to probably cut this down because I don't have it fully put together yet. And then obviously these I didn't do because I wanted to show you how I put it together. But what I did put together was, I didn't glue any of this stuff either. I did squeeze it on there really tight so that way it would stay and wouldn't leak air. Of course, now I'm not going to be able to get it apart. There we go. So I didn't glue anything. Only thing I did glue is I took these test caps. I just took a little Gorilla Glue and put it around the edge on the upper side of the cap, right here. So when I placed it down in there, it would actually squeeze out the sides a little bit and create an airtight seal. The plan was to buy enough that I could have the bottoms and then a lid on top so I could actually keep my powder in there. But they didn't have enough in stock. I bought all of them that they had. So I glued that piece in. I drilled a oh yeah, I guess you're gonna need some of these too. This is just an aquarium air fitting. It's 3/16 to probably quarter inch, I think. 3/16 to maybe half, but it's just a 3/4 or 3/16 to half, I believe is what it is. And I drilled a 1/4 inch hole, slid it from the inside out because the inside's a little bigger, and I just glued. I put a little glue on the inside of it on both sides to make an airtight seal. And then I took my coupling and I pressed it on there real good to where it at least fits up into the collar there where that stops the PVC. And on the, as you can also see on the, I took 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood, screwed them together. I cut holes out of the top one, so that way these have a little base to sit in. Works good. They're not moving anywhere. And then I took a coffee filter, which of course I don't have it with me, but I took 2 coffee filters. I folded it up, shoved this piece of tube down in there with the coffee filters, and then just tore off the excess. That allows the air to come up and make the powder coat on the inside bubble just enough that it allows a nice fluid transfer of your jigs and gets an even coat. So like I said, I got probably 13, 8, that's 22. And then I spent probably $13 at Home Depot. There's $14 at Home Depot, so that's 20, 36. I got $36 in parts here. The rest of it I found scrounged up. If you were gonna buy it all, I'm gonna say you probably have about $75 maybe in pieces. Probably not even that. Maybe anywhere from $50 to $75. You're gonna have to build the whole thing from scratch if you went and bought everything. But as you can see, I wanted it nice and neat. I want to be able to carry it around. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna attach some handles right here, so that way it's nice and I can carry it, move it around easily. And all I did was put a couple screws around this and in the back side here, so that way it doesn't move. Okay, minor malfunction. So anyways, so this doesn't move. And then moving over to this side, I basically took just a small piece of wood, screwed it down into this where it didn't move, and I used the same glue, the Gorilla Glue, and I attached it on I just put a little drop on every valve because that's what's going to touch. And now I can turn them on and off, and it kind of elevates it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you and I'm going to go ahead and cut up and make the rest of these. And then we're going to paint some jigs today. Like I said, this is easy. I'm making 5 actual fluid beds now, or fluid containers, opposed to for about $50, opposed to buying one for $100. And then to buy with that setup online that I found, it's actually like $20 to buy each extra cup. And with this, you can either build you a couple more of the pieces like this, set them off to the side, disconnect the hoses, and bring that color in if you want to have 10 colors or whatever. Or you can empty it all back into the jar, pull this out, change the filter, clean it out a little bit, stick it back in there, and you're good to go. But you still have 5 colors. I don't know if I'll ever have 5 colors running at the same time, but I've got the option if I need to. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to finish cutting these, put the rest of these together, and I'm going to cut the rest of them at 2.5 inches. I'll probably cut this one down. I'll probably leave that one the same. And then we'll get to painting some jigs. Stay tuned. Okay, so we have our pieces here. Take my coffee filter. You got 1, 2. What I'm going to do is set it in the center of that. Place it down in the hole. Now, it does make it pretty tight. This doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get it in there because coffee filters are going to filter the air. And then I'm going to take this just to kind of purdy it up a little bit. I'm going to rip off the excess coffee filter. And there's one done. And then if you got caps, like I said, I wanted to get a cap to put on there. That way I can actually maybe throw a piece of tape over this and keep my colors in there if I want to. But we'll see. So I'm going to fast forward through this real fast, do the rest of these, and then we'll be on to painting jigs.